What's going on, everybody? Today is August 11th. We are 11 days into this monthly candle. Made a big bottom wick. Started to pull up. Let's see what the weekly's telling us. Previous weekly closed bearish, but it is a weak bearish candle. I think if we get a break of previous weekly high, then I think we have a clear shot up to the previous weekly wick high, 24.77, and then up to all-time highs at 24.84 and beyond. But in order to get to that, we need to take a look at the smaller time frames. So here is the daily. Let's adjust our resistance a bit. Got a nice resistance here. We got a nice resistance here. So I think in order to get a push up to this resistance, we got to break the previous daily high if we're looking at the daily chart. So in order to potentially get a break of the previous weekly high on the daily, a start for that would be breaking the previous daily high. And I think that can give us a nice bullish bias for tomorrow morning if we end up breaking that high until then, or if we think we want to start the week bearish. I think if we get a break of the previous daily low, then we could see a move down. So really, I think tomorrow's bias will depend on if we've broken the previous daily high or the previous daily low. It doesn't mean that will be my full bias for the whole week, but I think to start tomorrow, that can give us a nice indication to start the week. From there, let's go down to the 4-hour. Got support here and a resistance here. Alright, perfect. So here's the 4-hour time frame. As you can see, we made a push up, made a support here, made another push up, made a resistance here. So based on this 4-hour, which will also lead to the direction on the daily, I think a close above here get us a push all the way up to 24.50, the next resistance on the 4-hour, and I think a close below this support at 24.23. If we get a close below there on the 4-hour, then we can make a nice move down at least until this wick fill and potentially beyond. We might have to worry about this resistance here. So maybe if we get a candle that pushes too far down like this, we don't want to take a trade into this previous resistance because it could potentially be turned into a support. So if we kind of miss this move down here, then we can wait for the 4-hour to close below here. Down to the 1-hour, we can adjust our support and resistances again. It's not the cleanest either. Let's see what it looks like on the 30-minute. Yeah, we do not want to take a trade in here. No trade in here. I think for sells, I think we could have a nice range below 24.23. Yeah, below 24.23. We want to take a trade in here. Depending on how kind of candles close, this range might be a bit too small. Yeah, it's almost 30 pips. Unless it closed like right here, and we have this range to still go down, then yes, we might be able to take a trade in here. But if it closes down here, then there's not much range until the next support. So I think this range it's clean, but it's not a big range. So I think here's a trade we want to take. This area is a little iffy. I think this area is even better. And this area is clean as well. Above 24.34 is where we want to take buys. We got clean traffic right here. So above 24.34 up until 24.40. There's also clean traffic here. So these are all the zones that we're looking to take trades in. I mean, even here. So we have our zones. Now we just wait for closures and wait for trades that make sense to us. A stop loss that makes sense, an entry that makes sense, and exit that makes sense.